Hey everyone, today we're out doing some more spring road inspections. This area seems to have a lot of snow. We actually got turned around on this road, didn't want to go any further. Now here's the amazing thing. Some people don't believe me that frogs will come out in below freezing temperatures. You'll hear tree frogs even if it's a couple degrees below freezing. They're tough animals. Well, so are wood frogs. There's ice on the surface of this water, but yet a ton of frogs laid eggs last night. And I know it was last night because frog eggs are like Orbeez. They expand over a course of about a day, and those haven't expanded yet. I always feel bad for the frog eggs because you see how this is grassy here? Those frog eggs are destined to become bird food. But it's nature, I can't move them all. You know, today alone, I have found tens of thousands of them. I attempted to move some of them. Well, not attempted, I did move some of them. But it just happens way too often. I got out here because I suspected a culvert. I suppose not. I thought there would have been, on a road like this, a frozen culvert that would probably just open right up when everything thaws, but apparently not. This road's going to be logged this summer, so it's going to need a lot of drainage work for issues like this too. That has to be dug out right there. I just saw the barrier, and usually there'd be a pipe there, but apparently not. All right, everyone, if you see on the left side of the road, there's a culvert pipe right here. It's in perfect shape. Perfect ditch leading out, no problem at all. The ditch on the left needs to be dug out. Look at this, there's almost no ditch existing right here on the left. Needs to be dug out. There's another culvert pipe, good shape. That culvert right there should be handling the water right here of where the frog eggs are. So we have to go hang up a blue ribbon so road crews know that this issue exists. Because when this road has construction in a month or two, the ground's not going to be frozen anymore, meaning it's not going to be holding that water, so road crews aren't going to know this is an issue. And if there's a flash flood, heavy rain, we can have an issue, so we got to put up ribbons. Do you see this culvert pipe over here? There's very little elevation difference from the bottom of that pipe over to this dip right here. So if there's a heavy rainstorm, this pipe here is just not going to function correctly. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm talking about. Look over here on the other side. The entrance of the pipe is actually pretty high compared to, say, right here. That pipe can't even hit half its capacity the way it's installed. All right, so this pipe right here fails inspection. It's not only blocked, it got hit by the grader. I always leave long ribbons because these leaves are gonna be growing probably before they end up fixing it. So everything's ahead of schedule this year. Look, the buds are about to open. It's the last week of April. To put into perspective, this area still usually doesn't have leaves June 1st, but I think it will this year. My area last year had no leaves on the trees the last week of May. This year they're already opening. Everything seems to be a month ahead of schedule. All right, everyone. I don't really suspect there to be an issue here, but I want to check it out. There's a larger pipe here handling the river, and there's a bunch of pipes right there that aren't operating. They're backups in case this one gets blocked. So, just want to get a quick look. There's no reason to believe this is blocked at all. Ooh, there's still a sip in there. I love to see a good surge while there's still snow melting in the woods. Nice. A lot of these rivers in the woods, they're fast moving and they're a good depth. Great in the summertime for tubing as long as you have a decent rainstorm. Hey, it's starting to rain. today and tomorrow are supposed to be washouts. We're kind of lucky that it didn't start raining now until 10 o'clock. So basically right here we have a bunch of water issues we have to mark. So first off, we have this whole drainage ditch here coming down the hill. And when you see a barrier like this, it means there's supposed to be a culvert pipe here crossing over to that spot right there. I don't think there's a culvert pipe here, so we have to mark this as a hazard right here. There should be a culvert pipe under there. That's why this barricade here is existing. It's supposed to force it into a pipe. Does that pipe even exist? I don't think it does. Yeah, I was afraid to pull over anywhere down here, and I didn't want to park in the middle of the road for the rare chance a car comes by. So you see, they have another barricade right there, which is forcing it off into the woods. Not really a problem there. But down here, there's another problem. So first off, you see the erosion here. Water's crossing the road. This ditch needs to be dug deeper. It's not really doing much of anything. And you see they also made this trench here to try to get it to go off into the woods. Well, they didn't go far enough, and there's also not enough elevation. This is a problem that's going to keep reoccurring every single time it rains, especially now when the ground is still frozen. It can't sink. You see they made this nice canal into here, but look, it ends into a hill on all sides. Whoever built this, I don't see how they could have possibly thought that would have worked. See, there's still lots of frost heaving happening. When you see cracks on the sides of the road like this, never pull over. See my feet? Yeah, I would have got the truck stuck if I tried to pull over on either side of this road. It's only solid in the middle. So right now, I got to put up a bunch of ribbons here. So at least this side seems like it can drain. In all honesty, here's what I think should happen with this part of the road. There should be a culvert draining this side to this side, because this is a hill going up. I don't know why they would have thought that was a good idea. There needs to be a culvert here, and this road needs to be elevated. And I would say get rid of that little hill right there, dig this ditch out. That's the solution for this spot right here. But we're gonna put up a ton of blue ribbons. The rain just started picking up. So I put a few blue ribbons going off into there to show that's where the water should be going. There also should be a culvert pipe here. As long as it's not pouring too much. I do like working on rainy days, because rainy days are actually the best days to be inspecting drainage, because that's when it's going to show you things going wrong, especially right now when the ground is still frozen. Yeah, it's going to show you when things are going wrong. Put up some blue ribbons over here too to show where this ditch needs to be dug out, because right now the water's traveling in the road. Alrighty, we got blue ribbons where this water should be flowing. Nice. And we have these little orange flags of this hill that needs to be removed. Alright everyone, this right here is an abandoned road to the left, but it has a damaged culvert pipe. The whole culvert should just be removed because it's an abandoned road. You see it's sending all the water across. Thankfully it's a rocky road. And it's been flagged before. It hasn't dried out or cracked in the sun really. Ah, this is a green ribbon. You know, I'm the only one who has ever used green ribbon in these parts, so I have flagged this one before. And then someone flagged it after me with some blue, but I think we're gonna add a bigger blue one. We're gonna put some blue over there too. Wow, look at all the discarded logs. They must be decades old, or maybe a decade. They're growing some beautiful moss. Yeah, no one really goes up here. Looks like maybe someone brought a Jeep up there at some point, but and we got a tire cutter too. The green ribbon's an example of sometimes you just got to use what you got if you run out of the other colors. But now we got ribbons over there too. Same location, right in front of my truck. We got a pipe here that's pretty much blocked. It's amazing, it's still allowing stuff in. We have a willow tree in here which has aggressive roots. We're gonna put some blue ribbons on this pipe also. All right, we got those ribbons there. Nice. Now we gotta be very, very careful on this road. This truck doesn't have the winch, and there's a few areas that you can get easily stuck. There's no traffic, so unless someone comes, I'm just gonna park in the middle of the road. Everywhere I'm stopping, it's literally only for a minute or so, and keep in mind, I've been driving since 7 in the morning. We've been out on the road 3 hours. We haven't passed a single vehicle. We could go all day without passing anyone this time of year. No one uses these roads. This road's not even active. This is not a plowed road. We're just doing spring inspections before it becomes active again. And there's a notorious beaver swamp up here. We used to unclog it all the time. They've been relocated. There's no problem that I'm aware of. But I'm very curious to see it for the first time of 2025. We should get to it pretty soon. That's kind of my goal on this road. If it does deteriorate a lot, I just want to kind of get to one location you might recognize. It's the location where I was smashing the frozen pond with an axe after draining it one winter. That was a fun one. Ah, speak of it, here it is. I didn't even think it was around this corner. We got a bit of erosion here also because of the drainage ditch isn't dug out right. We haven't been here in a few years, so let's get out and have a look. Yeah, that needs to be dug out, but just based on the hill, there could be a lot of bedrock right there, so it may be nearly impossible to do it without raising the road. It's really, really not that bad. You see, they built it very rocky to accommodate the water that's coming down, and it's not a lot of erosion. It's probably just because the ground's frozen. It might be porous ground. It might be able to just drain itself normally. But a few years ago, this entire spot in here was flooded. We drained it, and there was thick ice on it. Like, we drained a pond that had ice thick enough to walk on, and it was super satisfying breaking it with an axe. That might be an old beaver lodge right there where you see that hole. Yeah, they're not active. This was a Notorious blockage, and I can guarantee you I'm gonna hang ribbons up here. You know why? This pipe was in failure stage years ago. And I bet you it still is. Yep, the bottom of the pipe is starting to peel off, and if I remember correctly, the end of it has completely peeled off, and that's a risk of washing out. Yeah, that's why you see right here how the dirt's all missing. It's slipping in through the pipe. But I gotta admit, that is some very clean looking water. Yeah, all our debris has been long cleared because we haven't been here in years doing this. Yeah, see, the bottom of the pipe is non-existent. If you walk in this, it's gonna cut your boots. That's one of the reasons why when we used to do these uncloggings, we only unclog that one because that one's in good shape. This one is not. So yeah, I'm gonna have to tag it. As I suspected, bedrock. That's why this road has such steep hills. Also right here, see, I ran over that. Now it's starting to spill mud. This is one of those roads, it can look okay. As you're driving, suddenly you just sink into the ground. As I was walking right there, that was actually pretty soft. So I put 1, 2, 3 ribbons so they know it's a problem when they're repairing it. It's starting to get windy too, and it's a cold day. Cold, wind-driven rain. Not very pleasant out. Let's come up here, put up some ribbons over here too. Sometimes the road crews are gonna be like, why is this flagged? Well, sometimes you gotta get out a Sharpie and actually write on it. The bottom of the pipe is gone, erosion hazard. There's no culvert right here, but there's evidence that water was rushing across here. That drainage ditch needs to be dug out so it can actually get to the culvert pipe. Does anybody know why a lot of trees have evolved where they keep the leaves throughout the winter? It's mainly found upon oak and ash. Well, when the trees are small, they keep the leaves so the deer in the winter have something to eat rather than killing the tree, eating its bark. Oh man, we had a big flood coming through here not too long ago. All right, I put a ribbon up there. Someone had already flagged the other side. See, some people put teeny little amounts of ribbon. I don't get why, because you're not gonna see it when the leaves grow. So there's multiple culverts here. We have one right here. I don't know where it is, but we might get out and do an unclogging. Now right here, honestly, I think this is the end of the line for us. Nah, is this solid? I think we can make it through that. It's just the truck I have today is not lifted, so I gotta watch where I go. I also don't have a winch. Okay, do we have access to the culvert? How deep down is it gonna be? There's more water going across the road than the pipe. That's a very big black plastic pipe, and I doubt it's collapsed because it's very deep under. With all the raindrops, I'm having a lot of trouble seeing down in here. I'm trying to take a look in here, figure out where it might be. I feel like it should be a fairly easy one to do, so yeah. We already got the big high boots on. Let's get camera number 2. Have some fun. Shut the truck off. I don't even think we need to move the truck. I don't think anyone else is gonna come down this road, so I'll just leave it exactly where it is. And in fact, someone can probably even get around it where it is. We just found 2 culvert pipes, one handling the ditch, one handling the stream. Makes you wonder why they didn't just put one in that's much bigger to handle the ditch and the stream. But we got a double unclogging we're going to attempt to do. I put up a blue ribbon. I'll probably put some more up as soon as we're done. But we're out here today doing a lot of road inspections. The best time of the year is right now. The snow is gone, but the ground is still frozen and it's raining. It tests the limits of all the drainage systems. The ground cannot accept the water because it's frozen. It just runs off it, causing floods. Best time of year to do a drainage inspection. So let's grab our rake in the back of the truck. Got lots and lots of gasoline. We can probably go 2,000 miles worth of logging roads doing inspections. We got our big jack today. We got traction boards. This truck unfortunately doesn't have a winch, so we got to be careful. It's also not lifted. It also has city tires, unfortunately, so we got to make do with what we got though. This road's solid enough. I think we can continue driving through it. If anyone hasn't seen my video, my other car is in the shop, so this is a rental they gave me for the next 3 weeks. So we got 2 of them here. We got the miniature unclogging, which we'll do afterwards. I think they should have just continued the ditch down here and had a much larger pipe. But this water will likely come to a stop. So making sure we get a little bit of footage so we can make some before and afters. Also down here, if we're successful, that's going to be completely dried up down there. There's more water here going across the road than there is through the pipe. You see all the broken ribbon? This probably happens every single year. They should probably put a bigger pipe in by now. Now look down here, that's going to be flowing a lot more later. It's a pretty big black plastic pipe. It's a 2-footer. They should probably have a 3 or 4 foot metal one. It's deep enough in the ground. I don't think it's collapsed or anything wrong with it. So here we go. We're gonna leave camera number 2 up here. No. You know, there's enough shore down there. Let's drop the rake. We're gonna bring camera number 2 down here to get a shot looking back at it. Everyone loves those shots a bit better. There's enough riverbank to safely do it without worrying about it getting washed away. Here we go. Camera number 2 is turning on. Hopefully nothing shuts off because of the raindrops. All right, 1, 2, 3. Camera number 2 is going. It had a little bit of trouble starting because the screen's wet. Wow, nice pipe. That's actually a higher quality plastic one than the majority of what they're using out in these parts. All right. Come over to the other side. It's pretty deep in here, but it will drain very, very fast if we're successful. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it's here somewhere. It's hard to see in the water because of the raindrops kind of just got to feel around and hope that we can open it. Because I don't know where it is. Would probably be better ramming it like this. It's going to be an exciting one if we can get it open. But honestly, where is it? Oh, it just exposed itself. It just farted. Get out of here. Come on, you're gonna flood my boots. Get out of here. Was that a clue? I think it's where all the bubbles are coming up. I don't know. We gotta look on the other side of the road. Figure out the exact alignment of this pipe. Oh, we increased it. It's flowing a bit more, and it's flowing a bit less across the road. I'm not certain about where it is, though. I'm approximate. You got a whirlpool, maybe? No? That was me that did that, I think, with the rake. Maybe now that the water's dropping, we'll be able to get better visibility. I'm still clueless about where this thing is. I don't feel the corrugation of the pipe yet. Come on, where is it? How far under is it? I have no idea. I don't know how long it is. I feel like it's over here somewhere. We definitely opened it a little bit, but I'm not sure where it is. Is it here? Guess all we can do is just keep scraping and hoping we open it. My fingers are freezing. It's a very, very cold day despite it being raining. It's barely above freezing. Oh, come on. Ah! We definitely hit it, but is it just super duper deep down in this stuff? If only we could get it to flow a little bit more. Get rid of some of this debris that's in front of it. I thought those bubbles were a clue, but it might just be obnoxious gases from the deep. No corrugation yet. I don't feel it. Whoa. Oh no, I flooded my boot. We got another week to be out here. Is this it? Nothing is confirmed yet. Oh, come on. Seriously? How is it that difficult to find it? It's gotta be right here. Despite us having more water going through it, I cannot detect it. And I don't want to leave this one. I feel like it would be down in the deepest crevice here, but it's... Seriously? Feel sticks. These sticks could be a clue if they're jammed in the pipe. My fingertips are getting numb from touching this stuff. Did I get it? I don't know. I'm getting stuck on something. I don't know if it's the pipe or not. We're going in with this side. I feel like we got it, yeah. I feel like it's right here. And there's a bunch of sticks in it. I don't want to break the rake, but I feel like it might be right here. There's logs in front of it if it is. Oh, I heard a big blast. We did something. Hopefully that's enough water to drain this where I can actually see what I'm doing down there. I just heard it start blasting. I don't want to break the rake by prying too hard. We got, yeah, it's gonna drain and we'll be able to work a little better. Yep, it has completely stopped going across the road already. Yeah, there's logs in front of this. That's why we can't really move them. It wasn't down in the big hole. It also wasn't where those bubbles were. We just sent it through. Here we go. Oh wow! The big blast on the other side is about to end. We gotta look at it while it's happening. Wow! Wow! Nothing now going across the road. All right, we gotta clean that up a little bit. Look at all this debris here. If they had put a bigger pipe in here, like a 4-footer,
this stuff probably wouldn't have got stuck. They need a bigger pipe. Just by looking at the erosion damage, even if this wasn't clogged, it wouldn't have been able to handle this. And the other side is probably going to look like diarrhea coming out as I get rid of this stuff. I'm trying to break it up to make it harder to clog up next time. This stuff is so packed in there. Watch for that on the other side. Watch for that on the other side too. Get off of my rake. Get on out of here. I love when I tear these apart. The other side probably gonna look so cool with all this debris coming through. And we gotta get rid of it or it's just gonna clog up again. We gotta make it harder for the clog to reoccur, because I don't want to have to keep coming out here and doing these. Whoa. Look at all that slop. Whoa. Ah, it's still frozen in there. Another big push of debris. Heave. These sticks keep trying to cross the pipe. Get on out of here. All right, we have returned it back to a nice riverbed. Come on. See, they crossed the pipe and that's how they create a blockage. If the pipe was bigger, enough of the flood would it be able to form to be able to knock it out of there. Now enjoy the nice little stream for a minute while I go get the other camera. There's a ton of rocks eroding through there. All those stones you see right there are trying to erode on their way through. So now let's get some pretty exciting before and afters. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. Pretty awesome improvement. And look at all the rocks slowly eroding from the nice rocky riverbed. All the little stones are gonna pass through, but there's still multiple walls of debris. There's multiple walls of debris upstream. Very steep terrain. Water gets moving fast. This is gonna get plugged up every single storm until they put a bigger pipe in. This is not good enough. But we got it fully open. Here's what it looked like going across the road before. And here's what it looks like now. Now looking over here, here's what it looked like at maximum flow. Wow! And here's what it looks like now. Here's what it looked like before we did anything. And here's what it looks like now. I can hear numerous rocks coming through. See how it's still running dirty? It's still eroding a ton from upstream. Now let's grab our rake, grab camera number 2, and we're gonna try to go for another one. Hey, look, it even dug down to another layer of road. See the mud, and they put gravel up on the top of it? That mud is the reason why you can sometimes sink into the road without warning. Here's what it looked like going across the road before. And here's what it looks like now. Big improvement. Here's where the water was flowing down before. And here's what it looks like now. Great improvement. Now this other pipe right here is operating. I don't think we're even gonna use camera number 2 because it's not holding up anything. So we're just simply gonna open it up. It would make probably a tiny little gush. Yeah, fine, we'll put camera 2. We'll do it. All right. Camera number 2 is going. Is that big log right there the quark? I hope it is. Did this thing get stuck in the pipe? Yeah, it did. It wasn't really in it, but at least it was a good indicator. It's a metal pipe. Oh, that noise was awesome. I hope you heard that. Oh, that noise was awesome. I hope you heard that. The noise of the stick rubbing across the corrugation its entire way through. All right, we improved that. Going pretty good. See, nice and open. Over on the other side now. Ooh, it looks like coffee, but that'll be sure to clear up. Here's what the other side looked like before. Camera number 2 off. And here's what it looks like now. It looks like coffee, but that'll clear itself up pretty fast. There's really not that much inside of the drainage ditch. We got a busy day today. When it's raining, that's the time to do inspections. You see everything is done eroding now. We come back over here again. Now it's beginning to run clean. Now we got to put up a bunch of warning ribbons so road crews know. Well, at least we got it open so it wasn't for nothing. But my boots are flooded. Now I gotta have wet boots for the rest of the week. But honestly, one change of pants and socks, it usually will dry it out by itself. Okay, let's go. This
truck's a hybrid, so we're running on electric right now. No engine started. Pretty interesting. We're in 4-wheel drive. Hope we don't get stuck on this. Gotta be careful. We're not lifted. Okay, we're good. Alright, we're good. That was pretty solid feeling too. Don't have to worry when we come back, because I'm assuming we'll have to come back some of the higher elevations, like where this road is going. Yeah, there's still snow out here. So if there's a snow-covered part of the road, I'm gonna turn around. We're not gonna try to go through it. There's probably still snow out here, because about a week ago, some of these roads were very, very impassable. We're trying again today. Here's some more areas where water's been crossing. There's some erosion. Right here, water's been crossing. That's got to be dug out a little bit, but thankfully down here where the main culvert is, doesn't look like anything's been going on. Pretty wet after that one. I like working in the rain though. Look what we got here. Look at this tree. Way into the road. You gotta be careful when you pull over onto the shoulder during mud season. Number 2 was going. It had a little bit of trouble starting because the tree was wet. The metal pipe. Oh, that noise was awesome. I hope you heard that. The noise of the stick rubbing across the corrugation its entire way through. I got out right here. Someone else had already marked this one. Just wanted to see the culvert. Looks like it's just about open. It had a stick right here in the end of it. Able to kick that out of the way. Get it flowing a little better. Oh yeah, that actually did get it flowing a lot better. Is it gone? Yep. I noticed a little bit of water building up here, and yeah, there obviously indeed was a little bit of an issue. I don't really know why it's flagged, but considering it also has warning flags, I'm guessing it was frozen and flooding over the road is why a different inspector must have marked it a couple weeks back, but it thawed out nicely. All right, we stopped again. There's clear evidence of it going across. Oddly enough, down there where it's lower, it wasn't going across. Got a good amount of water going through, but I stopped because it looked like there could be something there, something slightly blocking it that maybe we could do preventatively. Oh yeah, just by the sand building up there, you can tell it's partially blocked. Oh wow, it is. That is sure blocked. We got clearance all the way through. We can erode all this sand right here. Honestly, we want to get camera number 2 for that. This is going to be an exciting one. All right, let's grab the rake. Camera number 2. I just stopped out to maybe do a little bit of preventative maintenance, just maybe grab a couple of sticks. I stopped because look, you can see water's been going across the road. Amazingly, down there where the road's lower, it hasn't been going across. I can't believe it, but right now, we gotta go put camera number 2 down there. Let's run down there real quick. All right, good enough. Camera number 2 is going. Whoop. So over here, I was just passing through and I noticed that the water level is a bit high right here on this pipe, and there is a ton of sand built up in front of this blockage that we're gonna try to remove right now. You're gonna see a lot of sand eroding in this video, even where the tripod is, so we might have to move it after. All it takes is a log going across the pipe to cause havoc. You'll get to see that on camera number 2. Let's dig down. There's gotta be more logs. There we go. Look at all those logs. And look at all the erosion even underneath the camera. That is a stump. That was quick and satisfying. You know what else is also really fun to watch? Look where the camera just was. This line right here is going to erode all the way back. I'm going to stop talking. Just enjoy the sound of the gravel eroding. Camera, stay there. I'm trying to get that root out of here. Nah, that's not going to go through there. Everything else did. I love these ones with all the rocks. Look at all that slop. And look at the groundwater coming out of that hole. That's pretty cool too.
All right, we did good. It's still eroding pretty awesome. I'll let you enjoy the sound a little more. I'm gonna go grab camera number 2. Oh wow, that sounds even more epic on this side. So you can see why the bottom of pipes rust out so fast. Every storm, it's like a sandblasting. Oh yeah, you can feel it. Look at all the pebbles. Oh, a big one's coming. Pretty deep. Look at the ice right there. Oh, that is solid. I can't even break that. And that noise there is ear piercing. All right, it sounds nice from here. But down there, that's really, really loud. Alrighty, camera number 2 off. Alright, it doesn't really seem pretty eventful anymore over on this side, but the other side, that sounds awesome. And look, it's starting to run a bit cleaner, but look, there's so much rock still making its way through. So that's why it's always rusty in the bottom of metal pipes. The protective galvanization gets worn off very quickly during storms. It's a literal natural sandblasting going on right now. And that water is going to keep coming and coming. This looks permanent. It looks like a stream. They don't put culverts that big on drainage. This is a permanent stream. And that's pretty cool. Look at the groundwater coming out of that hole. Pretty epic. Yeah, there's a good amount of erosion. Probably from there down. Still got a ton. And look, the water's clearing up. Still got some snow. Still got ice. I actually hurt my heel trying to break that piece of ice. But that sounds awesome. It's starting to run a little cleaner too. That was a whole lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. You see how another road crew has it marked with pink? They marked it as a hazard. Maybe it was frozen. I doubt it. Maybe they just marked it because of, what do you call it? It was flooding the road. All right. Look what we got, everyone. The first moose of the day. Pull up a little more for a good view. That is a wet moose. That is one wet moose over there running away. Wet moose. We also have another drainage concern right here. Let's back up a little bit. We gotta hang up some blue ribbons and we gotta be very careful because I know the road is really soft right here. All right, this is the road that we planned on using today to pass through. We're not gonna do it. I actually drove down here about a week ago with my truck. At that time, it was still snow covered. Ground was definitely still frozen.
I almost got stuck in the snow, but it wasn't really a big deal. If I got stuck, I had the winch. This truck does not have a winch, so we're gonna save this one for a few weeks out. But what I did learn about this road last week, a notorious place for beavers to block, the beavers had already started construction. There was only a little, but I guarantee if we got down here today, I'm not gonna walk the couple miles in the rain, but we'll come back out in maybe a week or two. The mud should be completely cleared up because next week is gonna be, for a couple of days, temperatures above the summer average. So it should dry out nicely next week. And if you look down there, if we wanted to go down there, we're gonna have to drag a bunch of trees out of the road, which we could do. I got tow straps on me, but we'll save it for when mud season's over because I almost got stuck right there. I'm very lucky to have been able to back up without the traction boards, without having to get the come along out. The come along's a pain in the butt compared to a winch, because with the winch, you can use the winch with the remote control and you can hit the gas at the same time. With a come along, you got to put the truck in neutral and you got to slowly, manually, it's a manual winch that you're cranking by hand. It's slow and it's a pain. So we're going to be done with this road. We're backing out of here. Thankfully the intersection is literally right here. You might remember this right here from a video that was about a week ago. We're backing up right now. Yeah, and look, another tree fell. There was a windstorm. We were even out here during the windstorm last week. We had to remove a lot of stuff. That wasn't down last week, but we unclogged a culvert right here. There was a pretty big flood, literally right there. So we'll keep on looking. We'll have to not go down those muddy roads right now. And we have active beavers right here too. They'll be sure to come down. But they're not the ones who block the pipe, actually. Look at all the fresh material. That's an active beaver swamp. And that is a massive lodge for such a small pond. In the spring, it's always a big mess at a beaver pond because when you see that really, really big mess, that's their pantry. That's all the bark they were eating over the winter, and they just stuff the sticks after they eat the bark under the ice. This right here is a very dangerous part of road. It's very soft. You see how it's all sliding? If you go on that half of the road, you're gonna get very, very stuck. As the rain goes on, these roads are getting worse and worse. Some of these roads feel like I'm driving through wet concrete. But that should be it shouldn't be super duper bad in the area we're in right now. This area, the ground seems to be already pretty much thawed. So none of this mud should be super duper deep. I think we're good here. These roads are slowly becoming worse and worse as the day goes on. So there are some things I like about this F-150 better than my truck. So my truck does do better off-road because it is built for off-road. It's got full skid plates across the engine, transmission, gas tanks, catalytic converter. Everything's armored. This thing is not armored. It doesn't have a winch, but on these horrible, horrible roads, it actually rides pretty smooth. Most of the noise you're hearing is the camera mount, which isn't great. Yeah, this truck actually goes pretty good. On these roads, it gets about the same gas mileage as my truck. We're getting about 14 mpg right here. Before it started raining, we were getting about 20, which is a little better than my truck. On pavement, the F-150 here gets 28 mpg. That's because it's a hybrid. I wouldn't really want to own a turbocharged engine like this, but you know, it's pretty fun to drive. But longevity-wise, I don't think it'll last as long as my naturally aspirated engine, but still, it's a lot of fun to drive. I'm having a lot of fun with this truck. bridge coming up. I think this is the bridge where it's basically a bottleneck. They really narrowed the riverbed when they put this in. Yep, it is. It's that river I was thinking of. Water levels are getting pretty high. Again, because of the rain. I'll show you what we got going on out here. See? A little bit high. It was much higher during the spring thaw. Perfect rivers if you want to go tubing. You can just go all day long as you have someone to pick you up downstream. These rivers in the woods of Maine are great for canoeing, kayaking, all that kind of stuff. Rafting. Look what we have up here. That's a big dead tree. Other people have been driving around it, so I guess the shoulder's solid enough. Oh, and there's the first person we're seeing out here today. Right here. This is an area you'd definitely sink if you went over there too far. So we're out here to flag another culvert as failed. It needs to be replaced. Even if it's functioning, it needs to be replaced. I don't think it is functioning. Let's take a look. Well, something's getting through it. We still got to mark it. All right, we got our ribbons up. I had to jump a few times to be able to get that branch down because I don't like putting it on the little twigs growing down there. I don't think there's anything wrong, but I have to get out and just confirm. I just see a bunch of material down here, so I had to get out and take a look. You see those beaver chewed sticks? Could also be muskrats because they like the smaller stuff. But the pipe is indeed not blocked. I just had to take a look because it's raining. Things are going to be a little bit elevated. Something's living in here. That's not grass. Those are either beaver or muskrat chewed sticks. I think it's going to be muskrats this time because they're so small. A muskrat looks like a big rat. It doesn't have a flat tail like a beaver, but they do live among beavers. Even inside the same lodge, they build dams, they build tiny lodges. But if beavers are present, the beaver will actually allow the muskrat to live in the lodge, and they will contribute to dam building. I know not everyone likes watching my inspection videos, but those of you that are watching this one probably saw the night we were out here flagging. I put that blue up there. There's a clog culvert underneath there. It's a oval one, 3 by 2 feet tall. See, the beavers have dammed the ditch. That tree down there fell since I was last here about a week ago, and the beavers are trying to create a dam in the middle of the road. They want the road to become part of their pond, which is actually pretty cool. But there's nothing we can do about that one. It's clogged internally. The pipe is too small to walk in. Look at this. There's a beaver dam in the middle of the road. That's kind of cool. Look at all the erosion it's causing too. Lots of erosion here. Look at that, the beavers are even using the treetop that someone cut off. And there's another culvert right here, which is also clogged by the angry beaver. Now, in a situation like this, it's pretty pointless even getting out to unclog one like this, just because they'll clog it back up in a few hours once they realize it. I do think there's a small pipe here. I just want to have ourselves a look at what's going on. I think there's a pipe here. Yes, there is. Oh, it's actually flowing pretty good. Wow, did they really not clog it? I don't like seeing trash in the middle of the woods. Where is it? We got ourselves a bottle right here. If I find like a massive amount of trash or tires, I'll put it up by the road because the park rangers will get it. But little stuff, no one's gonna see that unless they get out, so we'll take it. There it is, and it's amazingly not clogged. I guess the beavers have so much surplus water, they're not really tracking down that miniature leak of a small pipe. can't go flying through these things like I do with my truck because we don't have a push bar on this one. Well, there's snow on the ground, but it's already warm enough. There's a few mosquitoes in here. This tree's not really a big problem. We can just run over that one. When the heavy equipment fixes the road in maybe a month or so, that'll all get pushed out. So it's pointless even spending the time pulling it out of the road with tow straps. Yeah, I got a few mosquitoes in here I gotta kill. We have had steady, heavy rain all day. I like it. It's making the issues pretty obvious. So right here, we got water coming down here going to the next pipe, so pretty good. But this one here is gonna fail inspection. We could maybe kick it open a little bit, get something to flow through it. Absolutely. Get a little bit of flow going through it, but it's got damage on it. It's likely partially collapsed. See how there's still snow on this road? You got to be very careful. If you get over here on the edge, you'll sink. That's melting frost. Oh yeah, look how the end of it's tipped downwards. There's kinks. There's messed up pipe right here. Good. It's always so sad seeing thousands of frog eggs in these little puddles that are probably going to be dried up in a week. We just had to mark another one. That's a severe tire cutter if someone was to pull over. Despite it being all crushed and mangled, it's still functioning down there. Alrighty everyone, we've been on this road for a 2-hour lunch break. I just caught up on editing and stuff. Ready to go. So, it is now 3:30 in the afternoon. We have until about nearly 8 o'clock of daylight. So let's see what else we can do today. I love this rainy weather. It has been raining almost the entire day. I love it. Tomorrow, same exact thing. From dawn to dusk, it's gonna rain literally all day tomorrow. Then the day after that, full sunshine, and it's gonna feel like summer. Busy day. Only been on the road a minute. I was just parked on top of that hill. So, right here you can see all this erosion. You can tell water was blasting through here. But is there actually a problem? Or are these pipes just at capacity? Because they look like they're doing really, really good. Those rocks there obviously fell from here. But this looks like it's doing really, really good. I think it's just really at capacity. And I'm not sure what's down here, but these very well might be too dangerous to get near. It's pretty deep in there. It's probably too dangerous to get near, but look at this. We have evidence. There's probably beavers in here that could be contributing to whatever's going on here. Down here, looks like down there was definitely flooded, but look, this is right up to the road. So, yeah, that's actually kind of pretty. We're gonna have to go in, put up some ribbons. I'm surprised that a creek this big that they don't need just have a bridge. All right, these are the type of areas. Go fast. And it wasn't that bad. That looked like a really bad area. Those ruts and mud are probably from when the ground was still frozen, and it clearly isn't frozen anymore, and it's kind of became solid again. Because rain is not going to make the roads super duper soft. It's when they're thawing it becomes super soft, because what happens is the water that's in the mud expands, creating all kinds of water pockets in the winter. And in the spring, when they melt, it's basically very empty. But give it a little bit of time, everything's starting to become solid again, which is great. I like how in this area here, notice there's not a lot of debris left over. Sometimes they'll just leave all the twigs, all the small trees they don't want, just leave it littered everywhere. This area, a very, very huge amount of it's cleaned up. It's actually kind of nice. That'll help it grow back a bit faster, because a lot of debris on the ground is blocking sunlight from the ground, so seedlings can't grow back. In this area here, they do not replant. They let whatever random stuff grow back. It's actually healthier to do it that way than creating a monoculture of everything being the exact same species. Because if a disease or an insect comes through, every tree is screwed. Same thing with a forest fire. It's more resilient if all the trees are different. Look at that, everyone. We have a mama and baby moose down there, both looking at us. That's a good picture, a bit blurry, but a good picture. See, right now we're at a tree farm that they actually replanted. See, looks like a Christmas tree farm, but those will all be cut down in about 40 years. I'm not sure if this exact section is going to be lumber or pulpwood. Could be either. The balsam fir, you can buy balsam fir even at the Home Depot as 2x4s and stuff. Okay, we're getting a little closer. They're about to run into the woods. I'm surprised they're letting me get so close. Yeah, they're actually letting me get very close. There goes mama. Go on, baby, get out of the road. They'll reconnect after we pass. This is actually a really pretty shot. See, it looks just like a Christmas tree farm. But they plant it all just to be cut down someday. Judging by what I'm seeing, that's probably 10, 12 years old. Once it's established, it'll take off quite fast. See that? Same thing on the other side of the road. All right, this right here is one that I have to go and cut the top of this tree off. I'm not gonna try driving around there and scratching up the truck, so I have to get out. And I have a handsaw somewhere, I just gotta find it. There we go. Alright, I'm not gonna go any faster with this truck. It just doesn't have the ground clearance that my truck usually has, but I just drove into this a little bit. It was getting pretty close to coming in the doors, so I'm not gonna try going deeper into this puddle. We're gonna turn around. Plus, I'm pretty sure this road comes to a dead end. I think the only point of this road is for tree growth. Look over here. You see, they replant. Look how small those ones are. I'd say that's maybe 4 years of growth. Yeah. Over here, I'd say that's probably close to 30 years of growth on that side. All right, this stretch of road going up to this flood was actually a lot of fun, so I'm going to show you. There was a good amount of mud down here. And you see, no matter how fast I drive through the puddles, it doesn't come up over the windshield and hood like my truck. And, you know, I took a look at it. This truck seems to have mud flaps like the logging trucks do in the front of the wheels as well as the back. The ones in the back are so your wheels don't fling up rocks onto the windshields of people behind you. Mud flaps in the front of the wheel makes it so it doesn't get on your windshield. Different debris and stuff. So coming up here, there was one sketchy spot that we got to drive through again with a little bit of speed. You see, the mud is not great here. Not the worst, not the best. We just went over a moderate stream. Here's another culvert pipe. Here's another big mud hole. Looks like coffee. Should probably give you a little better view then maybe you can see the splashes. Alright, where was those mud holes? It was right here. This is a sketchy spot. Here. We hit bottom a teeny bit there. Yeah, it's not the road for a truck without skid plates. You can go slow through these puddles. These have a solid bottom. Yeah, that was the one little sketchy spot right there. Probably would have got stuck if I would have stopped. It's a little bit sketchy back there. You gotta wonder why right here people are going around. I guess the side of the road there's getting pretty muddy. Another clue that this is probably a temporary road. The drainage ditches are very poor, and they probably were never really great. I think it's a temporary road, and I'm pretty sure this would have come to a dead end eventually. To our left side there, if you could see all that water, I think there's a clogged culvert on this road. Maybe not. It looked elevated, but honestly, both sides of this road kind of look the same. And this is probably another dead end road. Think of it like a tree. These roads branch off into smaller and smaller roads as you get deeper into the wilderness. And it all comes together into one trunk. And at the end of that trunk is the sawmill. Most of the trees here in far, far northern Maine are going to be lumber. Towards the bottom of northern Maine, because there's not much logging in southern Maine, that is mostly pulpwood down there. But everywhere has a mix of both, it's just majorities. There was another really, really beautiful road up here. Somewhere I wanted to show. We'll come up to it in a minute. I guess I got out and cut that tree really for nothing. It wasn't really anything up this route. But boom. This is the road I was saying was kind of beautiful. I like these roads like this that are very, very tight. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down there, scratch up the paint. But this is an island right here to our left, kind of like on and off ramps of a highway. Here's the other end of it. Seemed a bit more open. Yeah, it's a bit more open. Yeah. This road will slowly close in until they're ready to log it again. They're not really maintaining it. But it is pretty how grown in it is. And look at that. Look how far this road really goes if I zoom in. Way up there on the horizon. It just gets tighter and tighter up there. There's really no reason. This is certainly a dead end, so we're gonna back out of this. All right, everyone, I got my bed set up here in the back seat. It's time for sleep. Gas cans, everything back there. Sleeping in a parking lot. So, we'll get back out tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.